What's going on, people? Back at you again, pilgrims in the earth. Like always, first and foremost, all praises, honor, glory go to the Most High, the Creator of all things. That's my whole goal of doing a lot of these videos is bringing, you know, either some edification or just dropping some knowledge or just building, freestyling. That's kind of like what we do, is what I'm doing right now. A lot of times I want to bring a broader perspective on things. For example, my wife, Tamika, right here, she was on the last video. She did a wonderful job. So I was like, why not bring her back on with a topic that I had on mine. I want to talk about offenses. Um, Offenses is like the most thing we overlook in our communities that we come from. Offenses cause wars. Offenses cause you know generational trauma. All type anything you can name. Offenses you know is the foundation of it. Um, a lot of us we're dealing with offenses from so long ago um, that we need to address. Um, of course, we believe in the Bible, so that's kind of how we're supposed to handle things. It's easier said than done, though, right? Um, but yeah, man, we just building. Ain't nothing really scripted. I got a couple points or a couple things I would like to read, but other than that, we just building. Let me get this is Matthew 24:10. It says, "And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another." So, of course, that's Matthew 24. Very, very prophetic chapter, and very, very prophetic verse. Considering evil has increased in the earth. A lot of offenses, have increased also because the hearts of many have waxed cold. Then Luke 17:1. Then said he unto the disciples, "It is impossible, but that offenses will come. But woe unto him through whom they come." So this is not a Bible lesson. Like I told people before, I'm not teaching. This is not a Bible teaching platform or channel. But of course, the Bible has all the wisdom, all the testimonies. So it's no way around it. You say references. Yeah, there's no way around it. But by default, I'm a teacher anyway. I teach my family. I can teach, but I'm not on here. There's plenty Bible teaching platforms. I'm more so giving people my testimony, and if I can inspire, if it be the Most High will, let it be. So be it. But anyway, man, let me read this, and then you can build off of this, because I know you got some things going on. So I came up with this earlier. I said, "We're all just products of our past, surviving in the dysfunction, making sense of what don't make sense. Your past shapes your perception in life, so imagine 20 pit bulls coming from a survival environment trying to interact." Uh, so basically, a lot of the places that we come from, a lot of pain, a lot of unforgiveness, a lot of offenses that took place is causing generational trauma. I was just sitting, and I hate to talk. I was talking to my moms a couple days ago, and we were just talking about family, different things. My father's side, my mother's side. And I'm sure there's nothing new under the sun for a lot of people's families. You have siblings that be beefed out over small things. You have friends that be beefed out over small things. But a lot of times in our families, we don't have the humility. You have these offenses, but we don't have the humility or the communication to sit down and just tell each other like, "Hey, I apologize for A, B, and C. You know, we ain't gotta hold hands and dance in the rain together, but for the sake of us being family and the sake of us, me not hating you and wanting to kill you. Let's just make it right. You know what I'm saying? What you think about that?
Yeah, like you were saying, like a lot of families struggle with communication, and a lot of family they won't even talk to each other for a long period of time based off of an offense that happened. And it all stems from just communicating. If you addressed it, what was said, or and how you felt about it years when it happened, then you wouldn't have lost all that time or that relationship with that family member or friend, have you. So I think that's very key. Communication is the key. Whatever it is, it ain't that serious that you can't talk about it.
Yeah, so don't get so offended by an offense because they're gonna happen. It's you can be doing the right thing and offend somebody. You can be doing something where you didn't intentionally mean to offend somebody, but the problem isn't the actual offenses. The problem is the getting past the offenses, the solving the offenses. A lot of us, we don't have problem solving skills coming from where we come from because we automatically, when somebody does something to us or we felt that they done something to us, our automatic defense mechanism is to shut down or cut them off. What you think about that?
Yeah, I also think, I always think about when you offend somebody, it's always how you deal with the offense. Because if you deal with the offense incorrectly, like you said, it's going to eventually make you want to cut that person off. Next thing you know, you building hate towards that person. Like, how is that loving your neighbor as yourself? That's not allowing you to follow the commandments, one of the commandments correctly. I think it's nothing that's that hurtful. Well, it is. It can be stuff that is hurtful, but I don't think it's that to that degree.
I always say this. If you ain't try to, excuse me, if you ain't try to do no harm towards me, you ain't try to kill me or unalive me or my children. It's really like, come on, is it that deep? You know what I'm saying? Of course, some offenses might not let me allow you back into my circle, or they might not let me back in the circle, or anybody else for that matter. Speaking generally, but do that mean I gotta look at you as an enemy? Do that mean I gotta when we walk past each other? Do that mean I'm on guard? Well, I feel like I gotta hurt you or you gotta hurt me? Not at all. But I think that's a lot of us. We got generational beefs that's going on with a lot of people based on something that happened so long ago, and some of us wasn't even involved in it. For example, I always talk about Chicago, but what's going on in Chicago is a example that going on in a lot of cities. You got people that's beefed out in situations, in family situations, or neighborhood situations. They don't even know how it even started. You just don't like that person based off of what you've been taught. And that brings me to a thought that I was thinking about. A lot of people are offended by somebody. So now you have another person who you're trying to influence this person to not like somebody else based on you not liking them based on an offense. And that's wrong. Whatever you got going on with somebody, let that be that situation. If you handle it or you didn't handle it. But don't bring somebody along to, have a preconceived notion about somebody who they don't know nothing about. You know what I'm saying? That's bearing false witness. What you think about that?
I'm gonna just speak because people done offended me so much, and a lot of times I guess it all depends on like how you grew up too. Because me being a younger child, of course I had to have a thick skin because everybody, having a lot of siblings, all that pressure was on me by being offended all the time. But I will always brush it off. So as an adult, I don't let a lot of offenses get to me. I always look at it like it re-examine myself. Like, what is it about me that I allow this person to say this or however they feel? Like, I've been offended so many times. I never address it because I try to re-examine myself.
Also, if you're a person, like you say, re-examine myself, that's one thing we don't do. a lot of us, we don't clean the inside. We always cleaning the outside. We're not re-examining ourselves. We're not looking at, hey, what did I do in this situation? What can I do better the next time? It's always, you offended me, get away from me. And not, you just going to go recreate the same situation you just went through with this person with another person. And that's why a lot of y'all, you can't have long-term friends, or you can't have bonds with people, or you can't even sit in the room with a person for 5 months or 5 minutes because you're so offended. People have to walk on eggshells around you. You know what I'm saying? You take everything personal. And when you have those things, there's demons in the midst. You know what I'm saying? These demons, they cause offenses. You get what I'm saying? So don't be so don't be so easy to get offended, by people. And if you are that person, just do the necessary work and heal yourself. That's what we all need to do, is heal. But this is more so how to get over the offenses, because there's so much going on. And I'm not just talking about any specific situation. I'm talking about with family. I'm talking about with friends. I'm talking about with people in your neighborhood. There's just so many offenses. We never look at all these homicides. We're looking at these gangs. We're looking at baby mama, baby daddy problems. You got children that's affected in these offenses. You got little boys, little girls can't see their father because of these offenses. Or little boys can't see their grandma because of these offenses. People get offended, and then it cause these traumatic situations that's going to long-term affect more people than just you and them. What you think?
Yeah. When it comes to like offending like somebody, like your family or your friends, whoever the case may be, if it's a close person you was close with, if you was saying like, I love you, I got love for you, things of that sort, I think an offense, that's the time when you should be locking in with that person, like communicate. If you say you love that person, what was so, to a degree where I gotta cut you off, period. Like if you got love for that person, there's nothing that can cut you off from just communicating, sitting down and having a conversation like, this is what you did, this is how I felt, and then hear that person out. It could have been something that they was lacking in, or it could have been something they was going through that they wasn't thinking clearly to offend you. So just have that conversation if you got love for that person.
I think that's more easier said than done too, though, because I think we all have strengths and we all have weaknesses. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to just tell somebody how to, handle an offense, but I would say be open-minded and start doing a self-correction so you will be able to deal with it. But, let's say, for example, if I offended somebody or they offended me, and I don't want to communicate off the bat because I'm still hurt from that. Let's say if you still hurt from that, how do you deal with that? You don't just jump off the back and communicate, because a lot of people, I think, are still protecting their peace, and or trying to avoid expressing those inner feelings that when it happens. A lot of people got anger problems, so they might not want to,
further.
Yeah, they might want to take time, because time sometimes healing offenses and solving offenses do take time. But what I would say, sometimes a lot of us shut down. Listen, a lot of us shut down. A lot of us shut down through these offenses, and a lot of time we get quiet. Me, I'm guilty of that. Sometimes I get quiet because coming from where I come from, offenses can be life or death. So I was always taught, hey, get out the way, or I could be going through a healing process. But in my silence, I can be guilty too. You get what I'm saying? As far as my part in the offense or being offended. So it goes either way. But sometimes I think just communication is the key. Confessing your faults, because I was talking yesterday about this. And sometimes people might be wrong in the offense, but sometimes your wisdom or your understanding might be a little bit more than theirs. So now it's expected of you to kind of come down to, to help them understand what happened in that situation. Go ahead.
So I got a question for you. So how how would you feel if somebody constantly offended by you, or you constantly offending that person? How would you deal with a situation like that?
Constantly offending that person. I would. Number one, blessed be the peacemakers, right? And I know we all talk this. We all talk these scriptures like it's just a, this is what we live. It's not that clean cut, but literally, that's really what you have to lead with: peace. Like, for example, we all cannot be friends. We all cannot fit puzzle pieces that don't fit. You know what I'm saying? If we're on two different puzzles, we're not gonna be aligned in the same. This is how you fit. If we fitting like this, it ain't gonna work. So if I'm constantly offending somebody, hey, I apologize if I offended you. I really don't know how, or or you mean intentionally?
It could be intentional or unintentional.
Well, it's a difference. You gotta be more specific. I would say
Don't move.
if I offended somebody intentionally, number one, I'm not trying to offend nobody intentionally. At this point in my life, 37 years old, nah, I'm not trying to offend nobody intentionally. So I can't even speak on that. If I understand what offending somebody intentionally brings. That brings war. That brings people getting hurt. So I don't play with people like that. But unintentionally, if I'm constantly offending somebody by how I am, my presence, it can be your presence sometimes. Or I might have been wrong in a situation. But if it's constantly, I would say, hey, I still love you. It's been real. Peace. I have to separate myself from that equation. You know what I'm saying? If I'm constant, if I'm the common denominator in that problem, and this person is constantly being offended, either there's something going on with them in their past, or it's just something going on with the two of us. We're just not aligning. Yeah. What about you? What do you say you should do in that offense?
Like you said, I would separate. Separate. You ain't got to be enemies, but you ain't got to be at odds with them either. So make peace. Keep it moving.
Yeah. Also, in offenses, you have to seek counsel. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I can't see your point of view. Sometimes you can't see my point of view. So what we lack in our culture is wise counsel. We don't have wise counsel. A lot of people you telling them what happened, and they're like, oh, don't worry about it. They're hyping. I was just telling my wife the other day. I say, women, y'all always kind of lie to each other. Y'all don't really give each other. I've never heard too many women say, hey, girl, you wrong. You wrong for what you did. But and I'm not trying to make this a woman-man situation, but what I'm saying is a lot, men and women, we don't hold each other accountable, the people that we care about. If you're wrong and you care about this person, they should respect it enough so you can tell them, like, hey, man, you need to go fix that. And let me talk about, go ahead.
I was just going to make the comment, and then you got to understand, when you're dealing with an offense, you got to go to the right people. If you're actually seeking counsel or advice how to deal with an offense, go to the right person, because not everybody got a listening ear that's going to give you wise counsel. They might give you the wrong counsel. They might say something that wasn't even true, like giving you advice on something that wasn't even true at all about that person. So you got to know who to go to when it comes to dealing with offenses too, because a lot of people just use that for tea, or it's gossip. It's a gossip session, so you got to know who you're going to offenses to.
Yeah, that's true. And also, in a lot of these offense situations, there's multiple parties. So, if you're a person who's on, let's say you're the middle ground, and there's an offense here, and there's an offense over here. You're the middle ground. And you're going over here, and you're coming over here in the midst of the offense. It might not, it's probably not a good thing. If you're not, it says blessed are the peacemakers. So why haven't you, with your middle groundness, you can speak certain things, or you can make certain things make more sense versus this person coming over here because there's an offense. So you in the middle ground, you should be able to try to make things right. That always made me question in the past, like, okay, why you always got to be coming over here telling me what this person said? Or why you got to be going over there telling them what I said? And what's the conversation that you having? Like they say, why do that person always feel comfortable about talking about me to you? And what are you saying? What you think about that?
That's very key because it'd be so obvious when you dealing with a situation like that, because now you got to question that person. Like, why are they so comfortable with conversating about that offense, or why they even conversating about you? And if you can't be in the same room, if you discussing that person, then that conversation should be had either way it goes, because it never ends well.
Man, I'm going to tell you straight up, and I'm not going to get into the scriptures because I can do that all day, but I'm more so going to be paraphrasing because there's really no way around it because it's the best example of how to deal with things. When you have an offense, handle that offense immediately. There's people that's been offended by me in my life for years, and I still don't know what the offense was because they never told me. You know, people have heinous crimes where, oh, this person got stabbed 50 times. So in that situation, there was some type of hurt or anger in this person. But a lot of these stories, what they call like Snapped or First 48, you'll see that a lot of these people were holding on to that offense for years. So finally they found the perfect time where it built it up so much that a person did one small thing and they just snapped because they never addressed it. And a lot of things in these offenses are misunderstandings. Demons like to operate in misunderstandings. Go ahead.
Yeah, like you mentioned, like when you're dealing with offenses, yeah, it's good that, like, especially if you're dealing with that offense and you're taking it hard, if you got offended or whatnot, but you got to be real conscious of during that time of your separation, because you got spirits that will possess you to actually build a hate, and then next thing you know, you looking to murder that person. Like you got all these spirits that's working on you, that's trying to get you to destroy that person. So you got to be conscious of them spirits that try to attack you too, because it can be a small situation, or it could be what is the word I'm looking for? But it could be like a small situation that happened, and because you haven't dealt with that offense correctly, it could blow up to something bigger than what it was. So yeah, be conscious of those spirits that comes.
Yeah, and so before it even gets to that point, it's better to just let them know, or you and that person go somewhere, go to the back, go into a room, pull them to the side. Hey, you know, you this happened, you offended me with this, because that person might not even know that they offended you, you know, but the communication could clear that situation in 5 minutes versus 5 years. You got people that got 5-year trauma, and now you looking at this person in a casket, wishing that you could have had that last conversation with them. But yeah, we carry these things, these unforgiveness, their bonds, their chains on us. You know, they're stunting our spiritual growth, nation building, community building, friendships, all that based on unforgiveness or misunderstandings. You know, so like I said before, in your silence, sometimes you're guilty because now this person don't know. They're confused. They're thinking of all these situations and, you know, scenarios. Yeah. And the people that be around it don't make it no better, because our people, we say blessed are the peacemakers. A lot of us are not peacemakers. What they say, misery loves company, demons love company. So a lot of us, we, like she said, the T, we're in a generation of, you know, all these reality TV shows. They fighting and scrapping. Everybody want to see a good fight. Everybody want to see an altercation, a confrontation. You know, we talked about this on one of the work environment videos that we did. That video, it shot, the views went up like crazy, based on everybody can relate to it. You know, go work at one of these workplaces and just sit there. A lot of people say, I don't even talk when I go to the workplace no more. I don't even give them my social media because people just want drama. What you think about that?
Oh yeah, people love the tea. They even called it the tea. It used to be gossip. Now it's the tea, because you sit down and you talk about it and just be messy. But It's but like I said, like I was saying earlier too, like when you dealing with offenses, like Brother Brown said in his song, somebody cross you is bloody murder, but when you cross somebody else, you say you ain't perfect.
Exactly.
You want somebody to treat you just like you want to treat somebody like you would be want to be treated. So if you want mercy, if you cross somebody, have mercy on that other person too.
Man, we like, and I see why they call it the tea. Like I'm sipping on coffee. Like say like you, let's say you at the break table at your job, right? And you see a person, because these people are usually they're very consistent with how they are when they like that type of energy. They like to hear about all the bad things about people, or they love talking about people, the murmuring, the whispering, the backbiting. So what they do is they like to influence other people, the same way. It's really a drug. It's a disease that they like to do. So they'll mess around and have your cup already ready. You just walking in the break room. They done put the sugar and the cream in there for you. They like, okay, they expecting you to come talk to them about another person like you did yesterday. So be careful of talking to people about other people. You get what I'm saying? If you ain't got nothing nice to say about, I think you just said something about that. I just copied that. If you ain't got nothing nice to say about nobody, man, don't even say it. You get what I'm saying? And if you can't say it to that person in their face, don't say it, because it's cowardly. Man, and the biggest part about offenses, when you're offended about somebody, keep that between you and them, because now you done built up an image about this person. Now everybody looking at this person a crazy way, and you done said all these things when it could have been a misunderstanding. So now you got to go all the way back and explain to these people, like, nah, you know what? It was just a misunderstanding. Whatever I said, I was tripping. 9 times out of 10, people not going to do A. They're going to do B. Oh, well, we good now. But now everybody is looking at this person like, and that's why they tell you specifically in marriages and relationships, keep your business between yourself, because a lot of times we step outside our marriages or our relationships and we go tell people things that happen. Let's say me and her get into a fight or argument, and we go tell, our friends or family, and they looking at it like, it's up. I ain't rocking with that person. But then you get back together, and now you expecting them to forget them the way you did, but they like, nah, that's not how it's going. So again, that goes back to wise counsel.
Yeah.
But yeah, anything else on that? So yeah, man, we've been going in for 27. Let me read this real quick, and then we can touch on this and be out with it. Okay, so offenses destroys families. Between mother, father, brother, sister, friends. There's generational offenses that lead to funeral get-togethers where people never address, like I talked about earlier. I've known people who've been beefing with their mother. Man, how do you beef with your mother? They've been beefing with their mother for so long, and they never sat down and handled that, or was able to get that mother a hug. And now you looking at your mama in a casket. Man, that's a hard feeling. So yeah, I just want to say, I hope this video can, inspire somebody to make things right with somebody. Step out your shell, swallow that pride. Even if that person was wrong, do you want to be looking at them in their casket and saying, dang, I wish I would have at least gave them a hug or told them it's all good? Do you want that time to slip away, watching their kids grow, and now you looking at their kids when they was last 4 years old, now they 16, and you missed all this time based on a small offense? Yeah, I'm just saying, man, self-evaluate yourself. And even me, man, I'm working on myself every day, because I don't want to offend nobody, number one. Number two, I don't hate nobody. So even if people offend me, it's still all love. Shalom. Let me go this way. You got anything last to say on that?
Well, yeah, I would just say that me personally, I'm not a person that what you say, drama or whatever. So anything else, if I can make peace with it, I'm okay with doing that, because I am a person that like to be at peace. So I don't want nothing with my name attached to it. So I'm always open to forgive somebody. I'm always open to a deal with. If I even offend somebody, hey, we could talk about it all day. I don't care. We could talk about it. As long as we get into the bottom root and we making peace, I'm okay with that.
All right, all right. Keep your front door open, but your back door closed. Not saying you let anybody in your house, but always be open to understand that you might be the problem. You know, you might not be the problem, but don't be the problem to somebody else when you can fix the situation. You know, with a simple, hey, you know, we good? We good, you know. Or we not good, you know, I felt like you did A, B, and C. Oh no, I didn't intend it like that. You know, I really was saying, boom. You know, so, and if there are people like that, just understand that and not just the people, but the situations, understand that there's a demon in the midst. Pray, fasting is key. You know, it's times where I have to shut the outside world off from my household, period. And I get to praying and fasting. And, you know, like the disciples said when they were saying they couldn't cast a demon off of somebody, you know, they was asking Christ, why couldn't we cast them off? He said prayer and fasting. That's your superpower right there. A lot of people, you know, they underestimate that fasting and prayer. I mean, really fasting and praying, having it on your heart to really want to change and be a good person and heal. So that's it, man. Pilgrims in the earth. Be ready to get your stuff or the shirt on your back and get ready to keep it moving whenever the Most High show you or tell you that it's time to get up out of there. Don't ever be conformed to any place, you know, especially in this time. You know, you might be persecuted in one city, you might have to go to the next. But yeah, man, pilgrims in the earth, peace.